I wanted to show you how I'm going to make my sheepfold. I printed out that piece of paper that's on the Padlet that's got a big green dot on it, but you can just use a regular piece of paper. You can color on it with a marker or with crayon just to make it look like it's kind of grassy. And then I took this piece of paper that has the fencing on it and I cut off a strip. I'm actually going to cut this length of fence in half because my sheepfold is not going to be 3D. It's going to be 2D. You're just going to look down on it and see it. So I've got my lengths of fence that I'm cutting up, and I'll just lay them next to each other so that it looks like I have an enclosure for the sheep. I'll just put it like this, in kind of a rough circle. Can you see that? Around the grassy area, so that the sheep have a safe place to go so the wolves can't get them. I guess I need to keep an opening here, don't I? So there's my sheepfold, and this door can open and shut. And now I'm going to put my sheep in there. I already cut one out. This is my sheep that's got the sheep on it. And I'm just cutting a big circle around the sheep. Can you see? I'm going to take one here. I'm just going to cut a circle. If you want to get fancy, you can cut right up to the lines where the sheep is and the legs, but I think this is just fine. So I have a couple of sheep here. I can cut out more. Probably not all 9 will fit inside my sheep enclosure, but you can make yours larger than mine. You can have it full of sheep. And then here's my shepherd that I cut out. And the shepherd can be here. And when he wants to take the sheep out, he can open up the fence a little bit and he can let the sheep out. And he can go around with them and lead them to places where they can eat safely and drink safely. They'll follow him because they trust him. He cares about them. He loves them. And then after they've been fed and they've had a chance to walk around and sniff the grass and get a drink of water, he can lead them back into the sheepfold where they can be safe. And then he can shut the gate. Maybe I'll add one more piece of fence to shut it completely. And they're in there where they're out of harm's way. So you can make your own godly play lesson at home. The parable of the Good Shepherd, which is part of the parable that we're talking about today. The parable of the Good Shepherd and Holy Communion, World Communion. So I would love to see if some of you want to make your own sheepfold. I'd love to see it if somebody takes a picture for you and sends it to me.